of attendance. So welcome to American TESOL Presents Free Friday webinars. And you're welcome to bring anybody. You can get a certificate of attendance. And we cover several topics. Next week we'll talk about motivating teams in your English classes. So that should be really exciting. Today we're going to talk about toddlers. And even if you don't teach toddlers, there might come an instance where all of a sudden your director tells you, by the way, you're going to be teaching toddlers, which happened to me. And when I did research, what happened was that I found that there really wasn't anything specific to language teaching. I decided to do this webinar to help those in case you ever find that. But most importantly, this will really help you when you have your kids, and if you have them now, and you raise them multilingual, because a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is how to, their development issues and what they should be learning at the different stages. So even as a parent, this is very good information. So what I want to do is start off by showing you this really cute video. Oh, that's so cute. And I want you to observe and just observe what's happening in this classroom right now, because it's a very good lesson. Okay, now let's give it up. Okay, now let's give it up. Wood and clay, fill it up with wood and clay. My dear lady, wood and clay will wash away, wash away, wash away. Wood and clay will wash away. Now let's do it up again. Sugar and gold, sugar and gold, sugar and gold. Fill it up with sugar and gold. My fair lady. Brian? Stow away, stow away, stow away. Silver and gold will be stowed away. My fair lady. Now heads ahead. To watch all night, watch all night, watch all night. We'll stand in bed to watch all night. My fair lady. Yay! Okay, so that was the little kid. Now, I want you to think about how this, I know I could watch them too. They're so cute. But what do you notice about this classroom that's different maybe from your adult classes or classes that you've seen with children and stuff like that? Movement, yes, that's really important. Yes, the movement, the energy. Imitation, yes. Somebody's been reading their Piget, their Jean Piget. Game-based activities, yes. The same movement, yes. Repetition, imitation, yeah, all very good. Look at the classroom setup as well. What do you notice that's different maybe from your adult classes? Yes, coherence among the group. Very good. They're seated together. And look at the arrangement. This is an open area. It's an open circle. And for toddler classes, even young learner classes, yeah, the semicircle is one of the most important classroom setups for kids. And it's something that I use the majority of time in my classes. Yes, exactly. No tables, whole class activities. There's room. Notice how much space there is. There's a lot of space there. In the back, there are some, if you look in the very back, there's a little small table, and usually the tables are in circles in the back for different types of activities, and we'll talk about what those activities are. And notice the amount of color. Young learners, especially toddlers, need a lot of color. So these are some of the things you might notice. And maybe you notice some of the things about the kids as well. and their reactions. So today we're going to talk about the development of young learners, because what happened was that I suddenly was told by my director within a couple months that I had to teach toddlers. And I thought, there's no way I can teach toddlers, 2-year-olds to, well, 1-year-olds to 3-year-olds. There's no way I can teach them English. I just didn't think it was very possible at the time. And I don't have any children. I do have my niece, but I didn't remember her development and her language and stuff like that. So it was kind of a tough one for me. So I began to do research, and I couldn't find anything on teaching English to toddlers. So a lot of my research came from just general education and development. And one of the greatest things that I saw was that I saw Higgett, and I remembered him from my master's classes, and I thought, okay, I remembered he said something about development and what toddlers do, and I thought, and he also talks about language as well. And he does a cognitive development theory. So he talks about what is going on in the brain and what students handle at the time. And I found that it's true. So there's a lot of things that you can find out from Higgett that really help you as a teacher. And one of them is symbolic thinking. So at this level, and there's actually 4 different levels. But at this level, there are 2 stages that you'll find that toddlers fit into. There's birth to age 2, and this is a sensory motor stage. And then the next stage is the pre-operational stage, and this is from around 2 to 7 years old. So the kids are going to be between these 2 stages, and that means you're going to have some kids that are doing things that are much different than other kids. But some of the things that you might expect is symbolic thinking. What that means is that kids associate symbols with words. So for example, if a child has a pet and it's a dog, and it sees the dog and it's crawling on the floor in force, then if it sees another animal crawling on the floor in force, it might call that a dog. So it could be a cat, but it would think that it's a dog, because this is the kind of symbolic thinking that the child does. Symbolic play. How many of you have seen toddlers pick up, for example, a broom and start playing it like a guitar? Well, this is symbolic play, because the broom has a long handle like a guitar, and it has little things. So it becomes a guitar because symbolically it is a guitar, because that's what it looks like. So this is a kind of symbolic play for them. Yeah, we do that too. Egocentrism. What that means is that at this stage, the child only looks at themselves and their interaction with the world. So many times in the class or when they're playing with others, they may get in fights because they're only seeing themselves at the moment. And that's what they're responsible for. They still haven't exactly learned at this stage how to play well with others and stuff. So these are things that we as teachers teach them in the classroom. It's very important they're learning hand and eye coordination, especially at the sensory motor stage when they're a little. So it's very important that the activities we have a lot of hand-eye coordination. So it's not only so we can do things such as, okay, so what are some really great activities that you can think of that have hand and eye coordination that also teach children language? Something, if you remember the video, she was doing something that was very good for hand-eye coordination and also teaching language. I see. Simon says, yeah, Simon says, wonderful. So anything with total physical response. So it could be Simon says. It could be singing finger chants.